Hey guys, I am Aman Tiwari. I am a second year student from Triple IT Kota, and today we are going to be making a chatbox GUI using Python programming language. So without any delay, let's get started. Alright guys, so we are going to start with the GUI, that is the graphical user interface, and for that we first need to import the tkinter library, and we have done it right here in the first line of our code. Then we are going to define a GUI function. Okay, we have done it here. Later on in our code, we are going to call our GUI function under the main function, like we have done it here. So let's start with this function. In this function, first of all, we are going to initialize the object. We have done it here in the seventh line of our code, and then we are going to give a title to our window. That is right here I've used server chat, but when we come to the client side, we are going to rename it to client chat. Next up is the dimensions of the window. We have used the geometry function for giving dimensions to our window, and here I've used certain dimensions. You can use whatever dimensions you like for the window. Okay, then next is designing the components. Okay, so let me just tell you one thing, that we are going to create a very simple chat box. That's why there will be only three components to this chat box. First is the chat log, where you can see chats from both the users being displayed. Second is the text box area. Text box area is the area where we are going to write messages. Both users can type their messages there. And third is the send button, which is used to obviously send the typed messages. Okay, so we will design these things in this section. First up is chat log. So chat log is the text type, because obviously it is going to display text from both the users. Two arguments being passed here. First is the object defined here in the first line of the function. Next is the background. We are keeping we are using a very simple color because it's a very primitive chat box and nothing advanced. Okay. So second is the send button. Send button is the button type, obviously. So here also there is the object argument, and then there is a background color and a foreground color. Green and white is actually I've used this color scheme inspired by the WhatsApp color scheme. And the text that will be displayed will be send. Next is the text box. Text box is once again text type, because obviously we are going to type some text in there to send. Uh, One more line that we have included here is the chatlog.config state equals to is disabled. This is because we don't want the users to be able to edit anything written in the chatlog area. That is why we have disabled state for our chatlog. Next is okay, so we have actually designed these elements. Now to have a better what can I say, for to look better, we need to position these elements as well. So here we are doing this. We are positioning our elements in this part of our code. So chat box is positioned at 6,6 coordinate, and its height and width is as defined. Similarly with the text box and send button, these are nothing, just coordinates, the x coordinate, y coordinate, and the height and width of our function. Like see, we have used a very small send button, not very small, ordinary size for a send button. Send buttons are not usually very large, and just a very primitive text box, as I said. So this is all about the oh yeah, one more thing, this line, the GUI dot main loop. Actually, when if we I mean, if we comment out this line, what will happen is that this code will run and our window obviously will get created, but we won't even be able to see this window, because the window will get closed as soon as it is created. I mean, the code will run only once, and after the code finishes, the window will get closed. So to avoid that, we are using this main loop function, which sort of keeps it in loop, and the window won't get closed before unless we press the close button to that window. So yeah, that's about it. We'll be seeing the actual version of our of the window once we are over with the server and client code part. All right, guys. So now we'll start with the server and client code of our program. So first of all, we need to include include two more libraries, that the socket and the thread library, and we have done it right in the start of our beginning of our program. So we'll be seeing both the codes at once, like side by side. Uh, there's not much difference. Like, let me just go through the server and the client code for you. You can see there is not much difference. Uh, okay, whenever a difference comes, I'll just mark it for you and tell you what different need to be done in client and server code. Okay, first of all, we need to initialize the server connection, and to do that, we have a function over here, that is the initialize server. First, we'll initialize the socket. Okay, we have done it in right here in this line, eighth line of our code. Then we'll configure the host and port for our server. We are using a local host for this program. We can also use like an IP address. For the host, but for our program we are using a local host. For port, you can use there are many options, like 65,000 options for the port, but I'm using 1234 as a port. Then here s dot bind, this function initializes our server by binding the host and port, and from here the server is initialized. Now, S dot listen. First of all, what is S? S is the actually S is our object, the socket object. So that's why saying S dot bind S dot listen. It can be anything. It can be anything. You can name it to like S set, or actually I have named it S because of the socket. But you can name it anything, and you can change all the values over here. So like now we are using the listen function, s dot listen, and the argument passed here is one. Why have we used one as a parameter and not any other thing? This is nothing to worry about, because we can use anything. It is just the number of clients we are allowing to our server. And we can right now we are creating a 2% chat box. We can even create a chat room by allowing greater number of users. You can change the value here, and you can create a chat room using that. So that's nothing to worry about. And here we are using the accept function to accept the request connection whenever it comes from a client to the server. Okay, this is how we initialize the server. Now what we there's a difference in initializing the client. What we do here is we just for initial lines are the same. We initialize the object, the socket object, and the host and port. Okay, yeah, I've written here. I think I wrote this code first. So I've written like we can use the uh, like we can use any IP address for our host, but I don't think let it just be there. Okay, so now in the client side, we just connect it. We just connect it. We use the connect function to connect our client to the server, and when the request comes, the server can accept it using the accept function. Okay. Now for the functioning of our chat box, there are three major functions: the update chat function, the send function, and the receive function. These functions are same for both the server and client side of the program. Okay, we'll start with send, then we'll go to receive, and then we'll come to update chat. There is you may be asking why then keep the update chat above send and receive. If we are to understand these two first, No, you can just see, but still I'll tell you why. You can see we are using the update chat function here in the send and receive part. Therefore, if we keep the send function above the update chat, then when this is called, like when we call the update chat function, then what will it actually call? I mean, it can be a problem, or it might not be actually, depending on the versions. But just to be safe, we are keeping update chat above the send function. Okay, so yeah, let us first come to the send. When the send function is called, here we are using the global text. We are first mentioning the global variable text box because we'll be obviously editing this. So uh, now when the send function is called, the whatever content is in the text box, like you can see here from the starting, that is the 00, this is nothing, just the start, to the end, whatever there is in the text box, that string will get stored in this message variable using the get function, and the same string will get shown in the chat log using the update chat function. In You can see here we have used the update chat function and the like this string variable and the zero argument. Why have we used zero? Actually, we have I've used this 0 and 1 as a parameters. Like whenever we are dealing with the send function, I'll type 0, and whenever we are dealing with the receive function, I type 1, because we only have one function for both send and receive. Otherwise it would have been a problem, a hectic job to create two functions for send and then another for receive. We can just change one parameter here, to 0 or 1, and the chat console will get updated. Okay, now to send the message we use the send function, and before sending we actually encode it to the ASCII. uh, we encode the message to ASCII, and then we send it using the send function. Now once this message is sent and displayed in the chat console, there is no need for the string of the messages to be present in the chat box area. Therefore we just delete it. That's why we needed a global thing here, because we needed to edit this text box variable. So now we delete this. So that's all about our send function. Now we'll move to the receive function. Receive function is just, let's see, let's say it's a loop. It just keeps on receiving data, and to receive data we use the RECV. That is the short abbreviation for the receive function. Now we use the RECV function, and 1024 is the bytes we use when we allow maximum of 1024 bytes to be received. Now, as you can see, while sending, we use the ASCII to we encoded the message in ASCII. So before displaying, we first need to decode it, and we here in this like in this line of our code, we decoded our message from ASCII. Next up is like this line. If message is anything other than an like empty string, we'll just update our message box, our chat console. We have used this update chat function once again. So this is for exceptions. If there is anything other than any exception other than this, then the program will just pass. So the GUI, we already discussed the GUI. However, there are some changes in this GUI, like whenever the send button is pressed, the command is send, like the send function. Okay, and yeah, there is this the key release. When like return is the name for the enter key. I don't know why it is so, but it is. So let's just say key whenever the enter key is pressed while we are in the text box, we can send the message using the enter key. Okay. Now, okay, what else? Yeah, now okay, I almost forgot the update chat function. Okay, just to be clear, like you can see that in the client side also these all things are same, nothing different here. Now I'll explain the last part of our code, that is the update chat. The update chat function takes two arguments, like first is the message string to be displayed, and another is the state, like I said, send or receive 0 and 1. Now here we have to edit the chat log chat console. That's why we have taken that's why we have taken the chat log to be a global variable. So we have mentioned it, let's say we have not defined it here. Okay, now before editing, obviously we need to reconfigure the state to normal. If you remember, we actually changed the state to disabled as we defined it right here. Now to edit in the chat log, we need to change its state to back to normal. So now if the state is 0, that is if we are sending some message, then a chat log will get inserted with a string that is a you, like you have written this message, and plus the message is the string that you wrote in the text box area. Otherwise, if we are like, if the state is not 0, obviously it will be 1. Then like the one state is for receiving, and that is if we receive a message, then the chat log will say other, like other person has written this message plus the message. Okay, so after the editing is done, we are free to reconfigure our state, reconfigure the state to disabled, so that user is not able to edit anything in the chat log. And to view the latest messages, we have used this line chat log dot view and end. So that's about our program. Yeah, in the main function, we have called our initialize server function to initialize the server, and we have set the chat log and text box to none in the main function, but we will edit it in the GUI and in these send and receive functions. Okay, same is with the client side. Only difference is that we'll initialize the client here in the main function. So let's okay, so this is the code. All right, guys, now we'll be having a look at our creation. So first of all, we in the command prompt, we need to initialize our server. And to do that, we first need to change the directory to the location of the folder. We have folder in which our code is stored. So I'll just change it. Okay. Now, initialize, I'll write the line that is python dot py. Okay. Now the code is, I mean, the server is initialized. So, okay. Now let me just run this. Let me see. Okay. So you can see we have the client chat and the server chat up. So let's just write something here. Hi client and send it. See, in the server side, it is written you have written hi client, and in the client side, we have written it's shown that other person has written hi client. Now I'll write hi server here. See, this is clearly working, and that was all about our project. Thank you very much.